Hello everyone, and thank you. I have officially reached 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. I have no script, so I'm just sort of rambling here, but gonna do a little Q&A as a celebration. But yeah, 10,000, holy moly. I try not to focus on YouTuber numbers because with YouTube or any social media thing, it's very easy to get stuck looking at the subscriber count ticking up, your views just like gradually growing, and you think, oh, why couldn't it be more? Stuff like that. Nope, I try my best to just make a good video, put it out, and see what happens. And this happens, apparently. So yeah, 10,000. Thank you so much to everyone. You know, everyone's always like, oh, I have the best fan base. They're all so nice. Like, I genuinely, I've had like no negativity with my channel, which, you know, it's a pretty common thing. You go on any YouTube video, you look in the comments, you're probably gonna find something that's like really negative. No, everyone's been really nice, just constant support, great comments. You know, the very few times someone says something negative, like everyone just ignores them. And yeah, it's so nice. And everyone's helpful as well, because, you know, I review mod lists. I don't make them. So I don't know the technical stuff that sometimes people ask me. But quite often people help out, and so yeah, that's great. Thank you to everyone who's left a comment, everyone who's subscribed, everyone on my Patreon. That's blimey, just so kind of you, or give a donation on my Coffee account. It's unbelievably generous. And even if you just, you know, watch from a distance, you might even know. Oh god, you're going to get a lot of these where I mess up my words. Because there's no script. I usually have a script. No script this time. Even those people who just watch without subscribing, you know, I do that with quite a few channels. So, I appreciate you being there. Anyway, let's get to the Q&A. I have a lot of questions. It's pretty crazy. I have 28 different responses, I believe, and some of them have multiple questions. So this is either going to be one long video, or maybe even split up into more. And do let me know if you enjoy the Q&A stuff, because I could do this, you know, like once a month or something. That'd be fun. Because, you know, you watch my videos, it'd be nice to get to know me. Oh, and one last thing before starting the Q&A is, you know, if you're wondering what's the future of this channel, I don't know, continuing the same as usual. I'm gonna keep doing the mod list reviews at least once a month is always the goal, but you know, hopefully 2 or 3. Let's say 2, because this isn't my job. As much as that would be great, it isn't. And I got my top 5 videos at the beginning of every month, and every now and then I want to do like a deep dive into one specific mod. That'll be fun. Oh god, and Starfield's coming out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Because, you know, it seems like a big when a Bethesda game comes out, a single player Bethesda game, that's a big deal. Doesn't happen often. So I feel like I gotta do something special. I don't know what. Maybe just top 5 mods of the week. I'll figure something out. And of course my playthrough, which is going strong and very fun. Anyway, I'm gonna take a sip of my water. Stay hydrated, everyone. Let's begin. It's going to be like a podcast type deal, so, you know, just put this in the background, play a game maybe, and let's start off So I'm going to do this in just order that YouTube is showing them to me. I posted this on like the channel updates segment, asking what questions people have. First up is by Solaria Plays. Also sorry if I butcher anyone's name. You say, congrats on almost 10k, thank you very much. Also, it's really nice when I recognise names and profile pics from like the beginning of my channel. Like, there's a lot of people here, I'm like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. Like, yeah, it's very wholesome to see people have stuck around. Anyway, let's stop going on tangents. Solaria Plays says, what was the first game you ever played? What made you interested in that game in the first place? So... first game I ever played, no idea because I'd be too young. We owned a PlayStation 1 when I was very young, and... we had like little TV games, which is like a joystick you plug into the TV, and it has like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, game called Dig Dug that I liked. But as for like first game that I got, and like I love video games, I'm playing this now, it would be whenever I got my PlayStation 2 as a surprise for Christmas, and my father got me Simpsons Hit and Run. That was it, the Simpsons Hit and Run. That's probably the first like big game I remember playing. And you know, that's a hell of a first game. It's a great game. I've always loved the first few seasons of The Simpsons. It's always on in the background when I was living at my parents'. So yeah, it's the Hit and Run. It's just a great game. Although you say, what made you interested in that game in the first place? That sort of suggests what's the first game that like I actively went out and got myself, which would be Star Wars Battlefront. Again, that's a great like first introduction to the wider world of games, because I loved that game. I played it so much. I played the sequel even more. Yeah. I loved Star Wars back then, still do. Next question. Many questions. 7 questions. 8 questions even. My god. You've been a greedy one. From Lost Soul in an Unmarked Grave. Ooh, edgy. Except your profile picture is a goat, so, you know. Your first question is out of... also, if there are any questions that overlap, I'll try and expand when I get to yours, so don't worry. Out of all the Skyrim Wabberjack mod lists, counting Novus with its own launcher, which one is your favourite? And if it's Septimus, what other lists did you really enjoy? So yeah, Septimus is the one I'm doing a playthrough of right now, and it's probably my favourite because, you know, I'm doing a playthrough of it, and so I've grown attached to it. This is really lame, what I'm gonna say. But like, Septimus is one that stands out to me. That list is gone now. Tinvac, or Tinvac 2 even, is one that stands out to me, which I played a lot of. That list is gone. Quest is one that stood out to me. That list is gone. I've not had much luck, have I? But no, luckily there's been many lists to release since then that have taken the essence of those mod lists and carried it on. I just so happen like haven't played them as much. It's really down to that. Living Skyrim will always be a big one for me because it was my first. You know what, I can actually go on my channel and remember. Also, if I don't mention your list, it's nothing personal, I just play so many, and some of them I don't have the time, as much time as others to play words. Horizon Roleplay Edition for Fallout 4, that's a pretty great one. Fable Lore, that was great. They're all great. That's such a lame answer to give, isn't it? But yeah, I think I've named enough off. There you go. Let's go with... My favourite at the moment is Septimus. It's gone, unfortunately, but yeah. That's the truth. Your next question is... What made you start making mod list videos instead of more traditional content? So... People who were here really early on, like... probably below 1,000 subscribers... my channel was called Dropped Ice Cream Gaming, because I was just gonna play games. That's it, it was just gonna be me playing games I haven't played before, and commentating. But at the same time as I made that channel, I just so happened to be playing a Living Skyrim mod list. And I don't even know what compelled me to make the video. I'm pretty sure it was just like, I wanted to see what other mod lists were like before downloading them, because, you know, they're like hundreds of gigabytes, and that's a big commitment, especially if you have lame internet like me. So I was like, I wish there were videos just showing me what lists to download. Thus, I made my Living Skyrim one. Which, yeah, it really was out of my comfort zone. That's not the type of video I would usually make. And it's pretty surprising that I did make it. But hey, it worked out pretty well, eh? Do you prefer first or third-person combat in Skyrim? First all the way. I play most games in first person if there's an option. I don't know why, it's a roleplay thing. I enjoy role-playing a character, and that's so much easier, I think, if you're in, like, the eyes of the character. The way I see it is a third-person game, it's like you're watching an interactable movie, whereas if it's first-person, it's like you are the character in the movie, if you see what I'm saying. Even in games like, I've played Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, both in third and first person, and honestly, I think I enjoyed my first person playthroughs more. Just something about getting into the eyes of the character, it immerses me into the world. Number 4 is, are you a fan of more Souls-like combat? Of MCO-based lists? Or more traditional vanilla Skyrim combat? Or more traditional vanilla Skyrim combat? God, this is why I usually cut stuff out and write a script. Traditional Skyrim combat for me. For Skyrim, like in gaming in general, I prefer combat with a little more complexity, but Skyrim's combat fits Skyrim perfectly. Because it's definitely very relaxed and chill, probably a bit too easy. It's why, like, I always use a mod that enhances the gameplay, or the combat, but I never use any huge overhaul mods, just because I think Skyrim works best as a more chill, swing your sword block, that's all you need to do kind of game. Plus, like, the game's not as good as some of these Souls-like combat mods are. Like, some of them are incredible. Skyrim was not designed with that in mind. Especially, like, the NPCs and their AI, and how damage is calculated and stuff. It's just, it's designed to be more simple, and I think that's how it works for the world, if that makes sense. Number 5, who are your favourite Skyrim-related YouTubers, or your favourite YouTubers in general? Favourite Skyrim-related is... So... always got a fondness for Gopher. He was an OG. He doesn't do mod videos as much anymore, he more just focuses on playthroughs, so I don't watch much. But he's what comes to mind when I think of Skyrim YouTubers. Was Fudge Muppet the guy who did like roleplay characters? He like designed characters that fit a certain theme. I enjoyed that a lot. And more recently, there's a guy called Sin Gaming, whose videos are just so well edited. He shows off mods, and I watch his videos and I'm like, damn, he puts me to shame, because his editing is just so crazy and over the top. Maybe sometimes a bit too over the top. Like the camera does not stop moving in his videos. But yeah, his stuff's really impressive. As for YouTube in general, depends on how I'm feeling. I like watching Adam Savage, the old prop maker guy who used to be on Mythbusters. He's fun to watch. Blindwave if I want to watch any reaction stuff, and, you know, they have the same passion for Star Wars as I do, so that's always nice. Degenerate Dak, he's a newer Fallout YouTuber who does Fallout mod videos. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's, like, I'm subscribed to quite a few people, but those ones are the ones that come into my head immediately. Oh, and Scale Up if you want your weekly, like, game reviews and news. I think he's the best for that. Number 6. What mod list have you been eyeing but haven't had the chance to play? Ooh, all of them. Probably Librium. Yeah. Or Librum, not Librium. Because it's a roleplay-centric mod list, which seems right up my alley, but I'm also aware that they're working on a huge update. So I'm a bit, like, unsure, do I make a video for that or not, because the huge update is obviously going to, like, change the entire thing and make my video redundant. But also the huge update is, like, way, way in the future, so I don't know. Number 7, what kind of music do you listen to? There's no certain genre, really. Like, my music playlist is just a mix of stuff. But from day to day, I mostly listen to game soundtracks. Relaxing game soundtracks. So stuff like Life is Strange Ambience, The Outer Wilds, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim background ambience, you know, stuff like that. I enjoy that in the background while I work. And finally, number 8 is how's life going, and do you plan to continue YouTube? God, I mix up my words so much. How's life going, and do you plan to continue YouTube for as long as you can? Life's going good. I moved out of my parents' house about 5 months ago. Moved to the big city with my loving partner. And, you know, just trying my best to pay the bills. So, yeah, everything's good. And with YouTube, yeah, I want to continue this as long as I can. It's like, if I was given the option for this to be my job, even if it meant like I was earning just enough to get by every month, I would take the deal in an instant. I love doing this, so much more than any other job. And so yeah, but for now, it's my evening, afternoon, whenever I can, work on it hobby, and yeah, especially now I'm past 10,000 subscribers, I can't end now. Gonna go as long as the foreseeable future. And you finish off by saying, congrats on the 10k, you discovered Rabberjack through my channel, and it makes modding so much easier and has saved you so much time. Thank you, and that's exactly why the channel exists, so I'm glad to hear that I saved people time and you can choose what mod list you want through me. Anyway, that was person number 2 out of 28 or something. My next one actually is my one question asked on Discord. My Discord, by the way, you should check out. It's like the chillest Discord. Like, not many of us talk, but we're all just like, hey, smiles. That really wasn't convincing, but it's just really chill, you know? People ask what mod lists they should play and stuff like that. I ask a question of the week, it's all fun and games. Anyway, from Althro, a mod list author, who I've reviewed in the past, asks, what ultrawide do you use, and should more mod list authors include ultrawide fixes? So, for the second half of that question, I'm obviously going to say yes, please add more ultrawide fixes, because it makes my life so much easier when I record my videos. But I get why you don't, because, like, if I made a mod list with a normal monitor, and I got to the end, and like one last thing to do was to make it compatible for a type of monitor I don't own, I would probably skip it as well. So I get it. But I would say include the fixes because ultrawide needs to be encouraged. More people need ultrawide and developers need to realise ultrawide is cool. Because it's like, if any of you have gone from 1080p to 1440 or even 4K, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I can't go back now. Like, this is it. This is how all my future monitors have to be. The same can be said for ultrawide. Maybe not quite to the same level of the jump from like 1080p to 4K, but like, I'm so used to my ultrawide monitor where if I use a regular sized one, it seems so small. It's really weird. And so many games look really good on ultrawide, especially RPGs. Like with Skyrim, as you're walking around the world and just having that extra field of view, it looks so nice. But I get why ultrawide isn't as big a thing because, you know, it's an easy sell to say, hey, get a 1440p monitor because it's like your current one except everything's sharper and looks better. You know, that's an easy sell. Whereas ultrawide, to be like, it's just longer and you see more in-game. There's a lot of people that are like, but my current setup's fine. Like, I don't feel like I need to see more. But yeah, I would love to see more support for ultrawide from lists and in just gaming in general. And as for what ultrawide I use, I don't know. What? Let's ask Windows. What am I using? It's AOC, display settings. Monitor names are dumb. They're always like long string of numbers. U34G2G4R3. You know, that one. It's 3440 by 1440, 144 Hertz. I think it technically has HDR, but like really cheap, bad HDR, so I don't have it on. It's like the cheaper end of a ultrawide monitor. That's also 144 Hertz, because, you know, gotta have that for PC gaming. Alright, moving on up, or down the comments, from Baron07, says, congrats on the milestone, thank you. Feels like only yesterday I saw your freshly released Living Skyrim review pop up in my recommended. Oh boy, you're an OG. God, watching back that video, it's so bad. Like, my voice sounds so miserable in that first video, it's really awkward. As for the question, do you have experience putting together your own custom mod setups? And if so, what encouraged you to switch to using pre-made lists instead? Okay, so I've been modding Skyrim for as long as I can remember. Definitely before Special Edition. So yeah. First when I got Skyrim, well first I built my very first PC. Pretty much to mod Skyrim. Because I remember watching videos of like Skyrim with 100 mods and being like, ooh, this looks so pretty. So yeah, I downloaded Skyrim, just went on the Steam Workshop, added every mod there, done. Then I started modding properly, like what I want specifically, and tweaking it, using Nexus Mod's old mod manager. Then there was the Ultimate Skyrim mod list, which was my first mod list I copied. That was like the OG big one. And that was great. But after that, I always tried modding Skyrim myself, and as many of you probably know, you spend ages modding, it's all working fine, and then you just do something wrong. You mess up somehow. Or like you get to finally playing it, and you're like, oh, this is great. You get an hour in, and you find this big problem, this bug which is breaking everything, and you're like, oh, now I've got to remove this, but if I remove this mod, I probably got to restart everything. Such a pain. So yeah, didn't want to do that again. Mod lists, I was like, oh, you're telling me I can install hundreds of mod lists and not have to deal with conflicts and stuff like that? Yes, please. So yeah. Nowadays, I usually download a list and add like a few mods of my own, maybe remove a couple that I don't want in that list, and all good. Next is from Raymond Calderon 8180. Congrats on the soon-to-be 10k subs, thank you. Obviously when I asked this question I wasn't past that. I have a fairly simple question. What are some of your hobbies outside of gaming? So, if I have time to relax, I'm probably playing a game. Or watching a movie, or a show, lazy things. I'm not a sporty person in the slightest. Other than, like, I try to go on runs and gym when I can, but that's not like a hobby, that's just like a necessity. The only hobby that really comes to mind is I play Dungeons & Dragons. I run my own game, which started late last year. Again, just really pushing me out of my comfort zone. I asked people online, hey, does anyone want to play D&D? I'll run a game, please, just someone play. And some people joined, and it's going really well. I've rarely actually got to be a player, I'm always the person setting it up, which is a shame, but I don't mind. Like, I enjoy telling stories. I forget the rules a lot, but my main thing is I enjoy telling stories. So yeah, I do D&D every week, or whatever weeks are all available, which is a lot of fun. CMFT9358 asks, 4 questions actually. Question number uno is, how much time do you usually spend playing a mod list privately on average? So yeah, that's a thing people have pointed out a couple times, is that I keep saying in my mod list videos, I spent plenty of time with this list. And it's one of those things that I've said so many times now, that I feel if I don't say it, people might think, oh, have you not spent time with this list then? I don't know, I probably should stop saying it because it's so vague and is like meaningless at this point. But anyway, it really depends on the type of mod list. As an example, my last showcase was for the Dragonborn list, and it's kind of a vanilla plus list, and almost all of the mods in there I already knew and have played before. So I really didn't play much of that list, but could still talk about it as if I had. Whereas some lists, like a big game-changing one like Novice, I will spend a few hours on, and the main thing is that I play through a couple quests, and I do combat. Then for the video I like teleport around to look at the scenery and judge the graphics. But just in terms of solid, I'm sitting at my desk playing this a few hours per list. Which you might think, oh, that doesn't sound like much. It is when you're replaying Skyrim every week. It's plenty. I'm pretty quick at grasping, okay, these are the mods you have, this is how it plays. Your second question is favourite guild / questline in Skyrim. You know what? I'm gonna give a really lame answer, but maybe I'll persuade you to join me, and I'm gonna say Bleak Falls Barrow. It's a quest that me and loads of people have done over and over again. So many times we've done Bleak Falls Barrow. So much so that you kind of forget it's actually a really good, like, first big dungeon, right? Like, it has everything you want for your first big adventure. You have to climb to the top of a mountain with bandits along the way. Once you enter, there's those bandits in there that you can choose to sneak, or you can just run at them and hit. You start going through ruins, there's a puzzle, there's then the giant spider, then you have undead coming to life, and at the end there's a big boss guarding a wall of power and the thing you need to get, the Dragonstone. Like, it's just such a solid little story on its own. And like, yeah, it's pretty basic answer to give, because, you know, everyone's done it. But I don't think Bleak Falls Barrow gets enough credit. Question number 3. When will you finally play Morrowind and make a video about it after sharing your thoughts and impressions? Yeah, you and a few others have asked me about Morrowind. One day. Look, I have so many games I want to play. Whenever there's a Steam sale at the end of the year, I just stock up on a few cheap games, and they last me for a while. Like, given my channel, I really should have played Morrowind sooner. But I just gotta be in the mood. Plus, I don't know how I'm gonna I think I'm gonna really enjoy the world, but I think the gameplay probably get on my nerves, the combat, from what I've seen of it. I don't know, I will certainly play it one day. And your fourth question is, favourite game / genre outside of what you usually cover on your channel? I think someone else has asked my favourite game, just straight up. Let me have a little look. Yes, so I'm going to go with your second half of this, which is your favourite genre outside of what I usually cover. Because yeah, my favourite genre, obviously just RPGs. So this isn't so much a genre, but more, you'll probably get what type of game I'm talking about. It's just something relaxing. So I usually tend to have 2 games going at once. One is that I'm playing a big RPG, or just a biggie game. And then on the side I'm playing a smaller game. So, like throughout last year, Monster Train, a card game, a roguelike card game. Or, you know, Stardew. Oh god, my voice. Stardew. What else? VR mini golf I've been playing, that's fun. Vampire Survivors, I also tried that out finally. Yeah, I enjoy like these smaller relaxing games to play alongside the big RPGs. So yeah, not much as genre, but just a feeling. Okay, next we have Dio Live. Oh no. Dio Live. Dio Liveria Daniel? Dio Liveria Daniel, 27. I think that's how I said it. It's because all of that is lowercase, and my brain cannot comprehend so many letters. You say congratulations, thank you. How much time do you give to a mod list before reviewing it? So yeah, as I was just saying, depends on the type of mod list. And I guess I didn't say, like, do I always play just the intro? Most of the time, yes. I rarely play late game, partly because I have to spawn in a bunch of stuff and, you know, use console commands to give me XP and such. So I'll usually play like the first few levels. I'll quite often actually go through the same few quests early game, like Bleak Falls Barrow, just because it's interesting to compare how they play. You might notice on a lot of my mod list videos, there's this one cave to the right of Whiterun with a bunch of bandits. It's like an early cave to kill. And a lot of my videos feature me going through that cave, or like leading up to it. And the reason I do that is actually because I like showing off the same locations, just so you get a sense like, okay, this is how this looks on this mod list, this is how it looks on this other mod list. Because if every video of mine showed different combat encounters, it's hard to really compare the lists, I think. So yeah, bit of a tangent on that question, but there you go. Levelan5588 asks, have you played any of the Dragon Age games? What do you think of the series? No, I've never played Dragon Age. In fact, I own Dragon Age Origins on Steam. Let me just bring up Steam here. When did I get it? Origins. So I bought it in 2016, cheaply on sale, and still haven't played it. Such is the way of Steam. Yeah, I do actually really want to play this, because I really don't know much about the Dragon Age games. But people seem to like them, so, you know. Do I play Origins first, or do I play the newer one? Dragon Age Inquisition, that's the one. Did people like Inquisition? It has mixed reviews, but I can't tell if that's because it uses the EA launcher. And everyone just gets angry with that. But yeah, haven't played them, do want to. It's on the list of stuff to play. Sack8924 asks, how do you come up with the name Dropped Ice Cream? Seems so random. Also, which was the first mod list you ever played? For that second half, as I said, it was Living Skyrim, which is still a great list, and I want to check out the new version of Living Skyrim pretty soon. And as for how I came up with the name, so you say it seems pretty random. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Actually, I remember. So it was before I could never decide on a username. The one that stuck before that was Heradion, and that's because some, like, Tolkien name generator said it's my real name translated into Elvish. Probably not true, very nerdy. It was fine, like, that name's alright, Heradion, kinda works. But I wanted something that I really was like, yeah, this is my username. And around the same time, I used to watch a YouTuber called Uber Hexel Nova. I don't know if you remember him. I don't even know if he's still playing games. Probably. But I distinctly remember he would go into, like, Games of Gary's mod, and his username would always be something really random that's like, unflavoured snacks. Or, disgruntled ball. You know, something really weird that's like adjective noun. And so I found those names funny, and using them as inspiration, I was like, alright, let's think of a food. Ice cream. Alright, how do I describe this ice cream? Dropped. And I've just found it funny because that's such a sad image, isn't it? Dropped ice cream. Like, you can't get more miserable than that. It's like the worst food to drop. And thus, Dropped Ice Cream was born. Justin Tack 5205 asks, are there any mods you wish more mod packs made use of? What do I usually add myself? Okay, so here's one that I personally always add, but I completely get why most lists don't. And it's Skyrim Souls, or Fallout Souls for Fallout. and it's mods which make it so when you're in your inventory, the game doesn't pause. They're known for causing a lot of bugs, and just a lot of problems in general, and they make the game a lot more difficult. But for me, I love the idea that, say I want to drink a potion mid-combat, I can't just pause the game, flick through my potions and choose the one I want. It's like, oh, I'm in combat, I need a potion quick. And it's as if I'm an actual person, like, opening my bag, rummaging through a bunch of bottles, being like, which one do I grab? This one, sure. Like, so just having everything still come at you while you're in your inventory menu just ups the tension, but in a good way for me. It makes me want to prepare before I enter a fight. So yeah, those mods are the ones I'll choose. In Fallout, I always use it for Fallout, but that one's more buggy. Especially if you have, like, barter menus that don't pause. Sometimes you'll talk to an NPC and they'll just walk away while you're bartering with them. So yeah, I get why they're not in mod lists, so it kind of doesn't work with this question, but that's what I'm going to choose. Next up we have Dacre6314 with 3 questions. Also, I like your profile picture. It's like a lizard, but it's all very colourful. Question number 1. Do you install mod packs manually, or do you use Wabberjack? Wabberjack, yes, Wabberjack, every time. I review 1 or 2 lists every month that would take forever to do manually, so yes, always Wabberjack. Your second question is, do you feel like you've wasted time when going greedy creating a custom mod pack and crashing and bugging the game? Oh, I see. Yeah, so do I feel like I wasted time whenever I spend ages on a mod list and then it just crashes? Absolutely. Does it happen often? Absolutely. Even with Wabberjack mod lists, every now and then I still try create my own. I spend like an entire weekend doing it, and then at the end I have nothing to show for it because it's just I've buggered something up, and just can't find the fix for one thing. So yeah, I've wasted a lot of time trying to get mods to work. And number 3, how was your journey with modding from when you discovered... I think there's a translation error here. But I'm just going to interpret the question how I think. How has your modding journey been? Let's go with that. Because it's interesting, because my first modding experience was when I was very young. Well, maybe like 10, 11, maybe? With Minecraft. On a terrible old laptop. I would mod Minecraft, mod videos for Minecraft back then were all the rage. I'd watch Yogscast and such. And, yeah. So it went from Minecraft to Skyrim to Fallout. And then just, every time I get a new big game, I'm probably looking to see if there's mods for it. So that's sort of like my modding timeline. Egoy1871 asks, have you ever thought or attempted to make a mod list yourself? So, as you probably gathered from what I've said, I've tried making them. They usually fail. With Skyrim, I don't think I could top the lists. Like, if I made one, it would probably just be like Septimus with a few extra mods that I use, and maybe I would add a few more texture mods because my setup can handle it. Fallout would be the one I probably would release a list for if I did, because I currently play my own list, really. I use the 2023 graphics mod list as a base. I threw in a bunch of mod fixes, and I have a lot of survival mods, but it's also not like overwhelming, just like a few of the key survival mods, and it's a lot of fun. So maybe I'll release that as a list one day, we'll see. It seems like the natural next step for my channel, you know, a mod list channel. I should probably make my own. But yeah, I'll just see if I have the time. Also, the idea of maintaining one every time there's an update for the game and such, ugh. I don't know if I'd be bothered with that. We'll see. Next we have Colton Gannett, who asks, what is your favourite ice cream flavour to drop? Follow-up, what is your favourite not to drop? So this is a big brain question. Because is my favourite ice cream to drop technically my least favourite ice cream because I enjoy dropping it? Or would it be my favourite because I'm dropped ice cream and that's like my whole thing? I'm going to say my least favourite is the one I like to drop. Which my least favourite ice cream... The thing is, I don't usually buy an ice cream unless I just know I'm going to like it, so I haven't tried loads. So I'm going to have to say mint. Even though I know there's a lot of people that like mint, I don't. Like, if I get a mint ice cream, I'm not going to like it. So I'm going to have to go with that. Is it the worst ice cream out there? Probably not. But it's just one that I'm guaranteed, like, I will not enjoy this. As for my favourite not to drop, which I just like, it'll be chocolate fudge brownie, that's it. So it's like chocolate ice cream mixed with some like brownie chunks and like fudge sauce. Ooh, beautiful. Night Ice 765 asks, are you ever going to do reviews on Nexus mod collections or different mod lists? I really want to, which seems like a weird thing to say, because it's like, well, it's your channel, just do it. But I'm just in such a good routine with Wabberjack, and like, you know, I install them so smoothly at this point, that, I don't know, I feel like I just want to get most Wabberjack lists out the way first. But I definitely do want to do Nexus mod collections. I'm eyeing up a few. Wabberjack takes priority for me personally, especially because of just how easy it is to use. As for different mod lists in general, I assume you mean for like other games and such, I would really like to do one for Minecraft. I don't really play Minecraft that often nowadays, but I know there's some great mod lists out there, so I think it'd be really fun showing off one of those. And of course Starfield's coming out soon, so as soon as there's mod lists for that, I'll be on that one. Alexander Walker 7631 asks, which is your favourite Bethesda IP, Elder Scrolls or Fallout? I'm a Fallout boy. Not Fallout Boy the singer, Fallout Boy as in the... I like Fallout, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I've always preferred Fallout. And don't take that as, like, me saying I hate Elder Scrolls. No, I love Elder Scrolls. I just prefer Fallout. There's just something about... It's really easy to make a post-apocalyptic setting. It's really difficult to make an interesting post-apocalyptic setting, I think. Or at least a unique one. And Fallout's like as unique as you can get. It's one of those things where I could see just a screenshot of Fallout and be like, yep, that's Fallout. I just recognise the aesthetic immediately. Just the idea that, like, this atomic war happened in 2077, I think. And, you know, but even though it's the future, it's what people in the 50s believed the future was going to be like. So everything's, like, still old and retro, the TVs are thick and black and white. But there's also, like, flying robots and stuff. And it's just such a great setting. And yeah, I just... I also enjoy playing a character in a post-apocalyptic world, because the idea of trying to survive... Like, in Elder Scrolls, if someone asks you to save someone, it's like, are you a good person, or are you a bad person? Like, do I go save them and be good? Do I not save them and be bad? In Fallout, if someone asks you to save someone, even if you're a good person, it's like, well, this is the post-apocalypse and everything's really dangerous and I need to conserve ammo and such, so I'm not going to save them, even though I want to, and it's just, it welcomes more morally grey stuff. Obviously that sort of goes if you play on easy difficulty, but I usually think of Fallout with survival in mind. So yeah, I prefer Fallout. Cust Froggy Dog, that's a great name. 547 asks, do you have any plans on doing a review for any Cyberpunk 2077 mod lists on Wabberjack or Nexus? Yes, absolutely. I love Cyberpunk. I was one of the few people who got it on release, and the game worked pretty fine. Which is the opposite for most things. Like, if a game releases in a buggy state, I'm usually got like every bug. But yeah, Cyberpunk for some reason worked for me. That's not me ignoring the problems it had, and it's completely inexcusable that they even released the game in the state it was. But yes, point being, I really like Cyberpunk, and I will be doing lists on it, or videos on lists. As for when, I'm waiting for them to announce when the next DLC's out, because the next big DLC is either going to break every mod list, or it's going to make a lot of mod lists redundant with all the new features it brings. Well, presumably new features it brings. So yeah, rounding it up, I will do lists, but in the future once probably the new DLC's out. I am going to get a drink of water because my throat is getting all croaky. Alright, next we have Rycatcher25. Do you think Bethesda is intentionally trying to hurt the modding community with their updates, in order to force people to buy from their marketplace? No. I don't think so, because Bethesda are well aware mods are keeping their game alive. Here's the thing. Bethesda, or I should probably say ZeniMax, their publisher, they have shown they are very greedy. The Creation Club, the prices on there for their mods are just inexcusable. Fallout 76, the way they tried monetizing that game, well, still do, it's terrible. So yeah, they like money, and I would not put it past them to do anything to try get more money at the cost of, ruining player experience and such. But saying, are they intentionally hurting the modding community with their updates? No, because, as far as I'm aware, most updates are to do with consoles, most of the time. Like, they're just small things, and they just happen to also update on PC as well, so everything's like the same version. Or they do updates whenever they get new Creation Club content, because, like, you have to. Just the way they implement Creation Club stuff. They have to update the game. But yeah, I don't think there's anything intentional to break mods. Yeah, they're well aware that their games have... Like, even Todd Howard said recently, Skyrim's still going after 20 years. 10 years even. Because of modding, and... Obviously, Creation Club wasn't a thing for a long while, so they know that they rely on, like, Nexus mods and stuff. Next we have Freemang8189, who asks, what is your favourite game, with or without mods? My favourite game of all time... in fact, I have a spreadsheet of every game I have played, in order of how much I like them. That would be fun to go through one day. Well, not all of it, like the top 20 maybe, because there's like 300 or 400 games on there. But my favourite game of all time, it swaps around a lot, but I think I'm pretty certain it's this, and it's Borderlands 2. I could make an entire video rambling about how good Borderlands 2 is. It's just perfect in everything that matters for me. The gameplay feels so incredible. The story, while the story itself is nothing special, the characters and their dialogue and stuff carry it so much. They're so interesting. I really enjoy loot progression systems that are done well, and none do it better than Borderlands, really. Or few do it better, even. The worlds look great. Borderlands 2 came out in 2012, and if you play it now, you could tell me it came out in, like, I don't know, 2018, maybe? And I'd be like, yeah, I see it. It holds up so well. And yeah, I've played through the main story countless times. I love the DLC. It's some of the best DLC in any game ever. Some of it is. Some of it's a bit miss. Yeah, some of my fondest memories are playing that game. So yeah, Borderlands 2. Also, you said with or without mods. Without mods, you can mod Borderlands 2, but for me, part of the charm for me is how random the loot is and stuff, and how rare certain items are. And so if you mod it so you get this rare item easier, I don't know, it just loses a bit of the charm for me. Next we have a nice death from have a nice death 6551. I will, thank you. Says, do you have any pets? So when I was living at my parents', we had 2 ragdoll cats, Cookie and Bluebell. I love them. I love pets more than anything. But now I've moved and I'm in an apartment, no pets, mix between not allowed to have pets, and also just if we had them, I'd want to give them as good a home as possible, and I don't think I have that at the moment. Especially if, like, they ever got injured and I need to take them to the vet. I can't afford vet bills. So, yeah. But my two ragdoll cats who I love, and one day, hopefully, I'll have 2 of every animal. I love them so much. Just give me all the pets, please. JTL1776 even says PC setup full stop. PC setup, my specs. I have an RTX 3080. Oh god, what have I got? 32 gig of RAM. Windows, system information, what do I have? It's been so long since I built it. An i7 10700. Yeah, let's just go with that. I've said my monitor. An old Corsair keyboard, which is pretty old and worn at this point. Corsair mouse. I got a Blue Yeti microphone. Honestly, I want a better microphone. Like, Blue Yeti's good, but I want one that sits off the desk so I don't have to keep editing out car noises and vibrations in the distance from my desk and stuff. So yeah, that's my setup. Why dropped ice cream, which I have addressed. So I'll go on to your next one, which is how many mod lists are you able to review a month? So yeah, the goal is once a month at least. Best case scenario is like 3. So let's say 2 on average. 2 a month on average. Look, if this was my job, I'd be doing like 1 a week. But at the end of the day, this still is like my evening hobby that I have to dedicate all my time to. So, you know, I'm pretty limited of how many mod lists I can review. The final 5. We have Dens XZ, who says, congrats! Do you play GTA? So I've not played any GTA except for GTA 5. And GTA 5, I love the main campaign. I've played through that quite a few times, actually. But for the online, which is what most people play, I don't like it. I've tried it so many times, and I can't get into it, because, you know, the people who live stream the GTA RP stuff? That's what I wanted GTA Online to be. And while I could get into an RP server, it's just a hassle, and I don't really... at this point, I can't really be bothered. But yeah, just online was too much of a war zone for me. I wanted to walk up to people and be like, hey, how you doing? But you just get shot on sight. The only thing I enjoyed was the driving, because it was kind of like arcadey fun to race against people. But yeah, main campaign is great. Rockstar, they know what they're doing. They're just incredible storytellers and world builders. And I can't wait for GTA 6. You know, they had that leaked footage, didn't really show much, but apparently it's like, was it 2 female characters that were like Bonnie and Clyde? Which as soon as I heard that's just genius, isn't it? That's genius! You know, to just play as these 2 like ragtag, probably midlife crisis, they like those types of characters, women in this world, that'd be just great. It's such a great idea. This next question I'm going to leave for the very end. So let's move on to Jacob the Great, who asks, how was your week? My week was good. I got to 10,000 subscribers, so it's very good. Yeah, I'm very happy and content. I'm a person of routine. I enjoy doing the same thing over and over, which sounds sad when you say it out loud, but no, I very much enjoy my apartment life, and being with my partner, and playing D&D every Thursday, and yes, so all is good. Unique Vintage 2080 asks, Sky Furry or Sky Weebs? You made me look up these things, and how dare you? How dare you have my eyes... Look, slight tangent, this reminds me, when I'm going through like top mod videos of the month, boy, it's still surprising how much NSFW stuff there is for Skyrim and Fallout. Like, it's not surprising in terms of like, well, of course, but it's surprising with how much consistently every week for this game that's well over 10 years old is still every day getting like Big Bazonga XL mod with bigger physics and stuff, and it's, you know, well done, mod makers. Anyway, as you're saying, Sky Fairy or Sky Weebs, which if you don't know what those are, look them up, or don't. Sky Fairy, because then Indigo the follower and Dover Bear the follower both are in a world that welcomes them and gives them the love that they need. Then second to last we have Arthur Dwards 1433, who asks, what PC specs do you have? So yeah, I said RTX 3080 and an i7 something 32 gig RAM. I used to put it in every video, and then I stopped because I feel like I'm bragging. Especially because at the time, the 3080 was pretty new, and so I never like bragging, and just having my specs on screen, it felt like I was going, hey, look what I got, which I hate doing that. It puts across, it sounds like I'm someone who's rich and showing off how, oh, look what I could buy, which definitely isn't the case. The only reason I have this setup is because it's like the only thing I bought the year I got this is like the only thing I bought that year. I don't have many big, expensive hobbies outside of playing games. So, you know, I don't have the need to get an expensive car or expensive clothing or the best whatever. And so I was like, you know what? I don't treat myself to anything. Let's get a good PC setup. And that's what I did. And I love it because I spend all day every day on it. So I was like, well, you know, it's a lot of money, but I can justify it because of that. Means I'm poor now, but we won't think about that. And finally, the last question from Garden Data 61371. What is the meaning of life? Man, I just play Skyrim mods. I don't know. Let's think. You know what? There is no meaning, which means you should do whatever makes you happy. There you go. Because if there's no, reason for it, why not do stuff that makes you happy? Within reason, you know. The golden rule is do stuff that makes you happy, that doesn't harm anyone else physically or mentally. But yeah, I don't see there being a purpose to things. I just think you got a little bit of time here. Do whatever makes you smile. So like I was saying, I live a pretty simple day-to-day life where I'm on my desk playing games most days. But you know what? Makes me happy. Nothing else I'd rather do, even if people will judge me for it. Whatever. Oh boy, there we go. That was over an hour. Holy moly. But it's fun. It's fun to just talk. I don't do that much. As in, talk podcast style. I'm usually following a script. Which I need to do for my videos. I'd like to be able to not to, because it would sound more natural. But, I would just ramble, and it would take forever if I didn't have a script. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. In fact, in the comments section, 2 things. Either tell me what your favourite game is, because I enjoy reading about that. It always interests me. And secondly, if you have any more questions, ask, because I might answer them in a future video. And I guess check on my Discord or the channel updates bit. If I do another Q&A, I'll update there and ask for questions. Oh, and Twitter. I should probably use that a bit more. Yeah. That was very fun. And thank you everyone again for 10,000 subscribers. It really does mean a lot. And here's to whatever's next. Cheers everyone. Go treat yourself.